Ladies and gentlemen, wow, Charles, what are you doing, man? You make me go live? You know, I'm going live right now, brother. What's going on? Can we do that again? Take two?
Take two? All right, two.
Hi, everybody. It's Rafael G'ee on the R&R Show, and today is a very special show of Raw and Ready with my special guest, Mr. Louis Lindo. Sorry, let's say this right because everybody else messes up his name. Louis Lindo is in the building. Today we'll be talking about professional wrestling and how the gay community also has impacted sports today. And I have a very, very special guest also that's joining. It'll be a surprise guest. A lot of people are going to be shocked that he's here with me. But, hey, listen, it's a brotherhood. This is what we do. And we'll also be going to be talking about mental health and suicide awareness. So, please, it's a very, very, very special R&R show tonight. Log on. We're going to have some fun. It's Raw and Ready. Let's go, Charlie.
Bounce with me, ride with the homie, whip it, whip it, show me the biz, show me the biz, we go hard, we go hard, we go hard, we go hard, I mean we go hard. I'm tired of you lanes, tired of hearing about the chains and the range. I'm on to you, the gimmicks for the fame in the rented S-Class in the lane. I'm just saying, maybe you never seen Raw. I'm ratchet like the chick from the third floor. I'm in the courthouse, faded loose with it. I ain't got no home training. What if I forget I'm grown and find another purpose for this bottle of Patron? Boom! Upside your with it. I'm authentic, dog, don't forget it. Come on! Show me them hands. Come on, show me them hands. Bounce with me, bounce with me, bounce with me. Ride with the homie, whip it, we own it, whip it.
And you're on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the R&R Show. Look who's decided to show up because they said we had a free buffet. It's my boy, Vince Steele, my little big brother, Vince Steele, and of course the man of the hour, the lady screaming shower, Mr. Louis Lindo.
The one and only.
Welcome. I know it's your first time on doing a live interview.
Yeah, it is actually my first time. It's crazy how a few years back when I first met you ringing the bell at BWF, we always spoke about having me on the show, and now 4 years later, here I am.
Oh, Jesus Christ is making noise on your thing. You have to put it. Sorry, Jesus. Sorry, we're all here just chilling, Jesus.
Praise the
We're all
Lord.
here just Jesus. Anyway, yeah, a couple of years ago, I remember one day I did a match, and Louis stepped right up to me. He was like, "I'm gonna be on the R&R show, so you better book me." So I was like, "Okay." Well, he never showed up. The guy was too busy becoming a star.
In the making.
And of course, yeah, he's here. My little big brother, Mr. Vince.
Yeah, you gotta do it the right way.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The best big man in the business. The Jurassic Juggernaut, Vince Steele.
yes, he's in the building. He called me up. He was like, "Yo, I'm coming through. You gonna say something?" I was like, "Nope." Come on upstairs, brother.
Yes, yeah.
Louis brought donuts. Come on upstairs.
Yeah, I did bring donuts here pretty good.
So anyway, yeah, again, thank you for coming on the show. I know it's your first time being interviewed live, and we're on Facebook Live. Like, we all know Facebook took over the world, so everybody's watching this. And I would like to thank you very much for coming on. As everybody knows, the relaunch of the show, it's a lot different. We wanted you to feel comfortable, so that's why me and the big man got together and said, you know what? It's his first live show. We're going to pop his cherry the right way and bring
Vaseline.
him with Vaseline.
Louis Lindo becomes a man today.
And with a hug and a kiss, and that way he's comfortable and everything, because wrestling is a brotherhood.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my hug and my kiss, though. So.
Okay, that's you. You like to hug.
We'll get to that later.
You like to hug, right? Look at Vince's
I'm a
out.
hugger.
He goes, "I'm a big turd."
I live in these hugs.
Okay. So anyway, Louis, 4 years ago, you started wrestling.
Yeah.
And we know that there's a story behind it, that why you became a wrestler. But before we go to that, how do you feel about being openly gay in the wrestling world? How are they accepting you?
I'm not gonna lie. When I first came out, I came out as bisexual. Correction. But in the beginning, it was a bit rough because I realized that before I even made my debut, I wanted to figure out who I was, because the gimmick is also just a part of who you are, and I feel like wrestling gave me the opportunity to be my full self that I want to, represent and put out into the world. So even before my debut match at Master Entertainment, I made my debut on WrestleMania weekend. I was just in my room with my friends, and, I consider my sisters, and I was like, I want to do something that stands out and something that makes me different, whether if it's the way I represent myself and also my in-ring work. Because when I first started off, I started doing makeup, and I would go out with it, like my nice blue with my glitter, my sparkles, and people, they'll make jokes, or, like Mexicans say, oh, okay, oh, besos in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then once they see me, hitting my cute thunder bombs and then my suicide dives, that's the moment where everyone realized, wow, this kid is really different.
Okay. Yeah, we're showing a video clip of you up here right now.
Oh, man.
Look at this kid. Look at this kid move.
Lindo Lucha.
Look at this kid move. I mean, we saw this, and I the reason why I asked you that, and I don't mean to no offense or whatever, is because we're in a business that Vince even knows there's a lot of hatred towards something that they don't understand. We might go into a wrestling company where they don't like Spanish guys. They might be wrestling companies they don't like black guys. Wrestling companies they don't like, people from the gay community. So now, as popular as become, because of the independent scene and the way people are now starting to drift away from the WWE and stuff like that and going more into the independents and stuff like that, we all know Sonny Kiss.
I love Sonny.
Sonny's a personal friend.
Shout out to Sonny.
Shout out to Sonny, who's
make your money on me.
That's it. And when he got booked for AEW embraced him, but the wrestling community was like, oh no, this can't happen.
Well, I give so much props to Sonny Kiss, and I love him. I'm not going to lie, true story. My first time meeting Sonny Kiss was in a triple threat match. It was him, Mike Orlando, Steve Scott. This was a few years back when I first started going to wrestling shows after my attempt. And my mom told me, she's like, oh, there's an openly out wrestler. And I'm like, really? There's people like that in wrestling? She's like, yeah. I met Sonny. I fell in love with him right away.
Sonny,
I loved his work.
Sonny, props out to him. We did his last show at American Championship Entertainment last year, and it was a pleasure to meet him. Very humble guy.
Yeah.
And everything.
He's a sweetheart.
And he gave me good pointers, took pictures with me and everything. I know he's known Vince for a long time and stuff like that. But the way now that openly gay people are doing so much for the sports, not only for sports entertainment, and not only for the wrestling world, but NFL, they had the openly gay coach. She was a lesbian who actually helped the 49ers go to the Super Bowl. Then you have
sky's the limit.
Yeah, you have Ella DeGeneres. You have all these people that are doing so much positive in this world, and sometimes it's hard because of the hatred that people put out there.
I mean,
the hatred and the way people was brought up.
Yeah, exactly. Now you being Latino, also,
it's a bit more difficult.
It's a bit more difficult because we always got that Spanish pride. Our parents, they were taught that that's not right. A woman with a woman, a man with a man.
Yeah, I was a bit taught differently. Like my mom, I'm pretty sure, like when I was at a young age, like around 12, 13, I was bi-curious and I was insecure. Because, I was at a young age just like I didn't really know what I wanted. Now, since last year, a few months back when I came, I was like, well, I'm like, okay, this is what I want and I know what I want now. But, in the beginning, I felt like I really never needed to come out to my parents due to the fact that I've also had people in my family that, are lesbian. Because I'm the only boy, but I have plenty of sisters.
Okay.
But my mom is, like, really cool and supportive about it.
And
so I'm glad I have that.
And that's good. But you and I were talking off the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing so well with your wrestling career. I mean, Vince and I can vouch for you. I mean, you guys are heading out to where in a couple
West Virginia, April 4th.
Yeah.
Vince, you falling asleep? That salad was good, right? That salad was good.
But I ain't falling asleep. I'm enjoying the story.
I also enjoyed the salad.
I'm very happy that Louis out here doing his thing. I like to take some credit. Let him get to the dance.
Nah, it was Vince. I owe him a big thank you because I actually showed up to the show with my gear bag and I was like, you know what, I want to debut. I feel like I'm ready. Let's get it. And Vince still actually vouched for me and I was able to make my debut in Master Entertainment. So I owe a big thank you to Vince.
And that's good. Vince, he owes you a buffet. No, you want to go Golden Corral? They opened up once in the Bronx.
Some J. Lou taco flavored kisses would be perfectly fine.
Definitely. But as we can say is this. First of all, I want to say that this kid right here, this young man, and I don't mean kid by disrespect because I'm way older than you. You know,
he's a kid. You old as dirt.
Listen, I was there when Jesus crossed the river. All right, and it was the shoes. Anyway, he has a lot of talent. This kid has I've seen him wrestle Mexican style, American style. I've seen you do what with the tables and
hardcore matches.
Hardcore matches.
I felt like that's what really kicked it up a notch because I never really thought I would ever do a hardcore match in my life because I always see people all bloody and then the thumbtacks and stuff like that. I thought it was crazy. But I feel like VXS kind of gave me the opportunity to show, a different side of me, what I'm really made of. Just
shout out to Violence and Suffering, Orlando, what up?
Orlando Fernandez. But yeah, I owe Orlando a big thank you for that opportunity. Like I said before, I never really thought I would get into a match like that. But I felt like I wanted to show the world, I may come off as this image, but there's a whole different side of me that you have yet to experience.
Exactly. Now, since we see videotapes of you and we saw your style and your cool ass gear and everything. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, shout out to my fiance Margie, who is a big fan.
Who loves me?
Who loves Louis Lindo a lot, and she loves Vince especially.
Venus Steel.
All right, she loves Vince Steel, especially Vince Steel.
Yes.
All right.
More especially Louis Lindo.
I still got a fingerprint right here.
Yeah, she still got, she was involved in our match last year where he started it. He told her,
I love your way.
Do this, and she went beyond. And it was, I'm in the ring laying down, and I'm looking at them, and they're going at it, and I'm saying to myself, he's going to kick my ass for this. Because Margie started something. They were like two little kids. You go and play together, and they took it beyond that. But she loves him to death.
That became a whole brawl, right?
Yeah, that was his own separate fight.
You see, we started off play fighting, then people started getting rocked.
Its own separate fight. Now, you got into wrestling, and you worked with several promotions. You also worked with me at Alpha Championship Wrestling.
I love ACW.
ACW, what up? Shout out to y'all.
I'm coming for that.
He's the hype man. He's the hype man. And we had 2 great shows with them, and there's plenty more coming for the end before the end of the year. But we're not here to talk about your wrestling career. We know how well you're doing. You're an upcoming star. Everybody who knows you knows you. Are you serious? Boy, we on live, and you got your phone going.
Totally forgot.
It's been a while. It's been a while. That's how it got him going. It's been a while. It's his alarm.
It just became dead.
You know how they got the alarm that says drink water? It says
quarter pound of cheeseburger.
Yeah. All right, so the question I want to ask you is, why did you get into wrestling?
The reason why I got into wrestling was honestly because of my suicide attempt, and I'm very proud to say it. I was at a point in my life where I did experience a lot of bullying and also just problems at home, and just I just felt like I was at the point of my breaking point. Mm-hmm. And I was just alone in my room. I took between 40 to 60. Nobody knows exactly how much of the amount I took. Yeah. And I really nearly lost my life, and that's so serious. And I am sorry for what I did do. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, I don't regret it, because I feel like sometimes you need to be at the bottom in your life just to every setback is always a comeback. After I was discharged within a week, I was depressed in my room. I would just stay there. I'll lay down in bed. I wouldn't eat, or I'll just continuously sleep. And one day I just looked up and I was like, you know what, this has to change. Instead of it becoming a cycle, it's time that I break it. So my dad's a taxi driver, and he had a customer named my Didi. Shout out to her. She started taking me to shows. My first show was in El Patron in 2013, around there. I saw Hijo de Rey Mysterio versus Damien 666 as the main event. From there, I started going to more shows, and I saw Pentagon Jr. versus Phoenix main event twice in La Boom in Queens. And from there, and also when I saw Sonny, Sonny was awesome, and Sonny was just an amazing person, athlete, and his ring work and just the way how charismatic and, you know, confident he is about himself. I looked at him and like other people in the locker room and just people in that ring, and I saw the connection, I saw the story, I saw how passionate they were, and I saw how even little kids look up to people like that. And I saw, you know what, it sounds like a crazy idea. I never really thought of myself ever to be as a fighting type, but I felt like this is maybe something that I can do and want to pursue as a career and make a living off of it. If it's something that makes me happy, something that, you know, gets me out of bed and makes me, you know, just genuinely happy, gives me something to look forward to, I figure why not go for it.
That's good to know because, you know, you and I had this conversation off the air and everything, and I didn't want to bring up something that you wasn't comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know? Now, LDM and the R&R Show, we have a friend called Little Lexi that does anti-bullying campaigns throughout the Bronx. Shout out to Little Lexi and her mom who do, you know, this little girl, she went through it and everything. They go to different community events, and this little girl does the anti-bullying. Now, I don't want to bring up old scars, but
No, it's okay. I mean,
why did they bully you? This is what I want to know, because I always want to know, why does a bully pick on somebody?
that's what I wish I knew too, but I feel like people that are broken down themselves want other people to feel their pain. That's just my opinion on things, because the way I see it is like, I wouldn't do anything to other people, especially like just in general, because I wouldn't want that done to me. I know what it's like, so I try and be as respectful as I can. And if you don't like me, fine, but I'll still shake your hand at the end of the day as if nothing's wrong. The reason why I can take this back all the way to elementary school, where, you know, kids would just pick on me because I was a really chubby kid. I was really fat. I was overeating all the time. Like, you know, I was like this, you know. And they would make fun of me about my weight, and then, you know, all the gay jokes would happen and stuff like that. I was mostly around, like, the girls when I was little, rather than guy friends, because, you know, in my mind, they were just, you know, always rowdy, and they were always starting problems, and I always wanted to avoid that. And even up to middle school got even worse for me. That's where I really, you know, wanted to take away my life, because it got worse to the point where I would go into school, and I was afraid. I would shake before I go in, because I'm like, the same kid is doing this to me every day. And it got physical at one point, where I'll come home with a bruise, or like something will happen. I'll go like this with my hoodie on and go home. And my dad would ask me, I was with my dad at the moment, and he will ask me, like, are you okay? What's going on? I always make up a lie. And like, even outside of school, there were even times where I would have to leave school early just to avoid like him seeing me after school. Just, you know, it was really traumatizing. But then again, I'm not going to hold grudges. You know, it happened. You know, I don't have any hatred towards the person, but I kind of feel bad for them at the same time, because it makes me wonder why.
Yeah, because karma's a bitch.
For real. it makes me wonder why would you do this to other people?
Well, I want to give a shout out to Margie, my lady. She says, I have a lot of love for you, Louis.
Love you too, Marge.
And she's like, you know I love you too, Vince.
Yeah, let's just make it clear that Margie loves me more. Sorry, I hate to throw you under the bus, but she loves me more. I'm her favorite.
So, you know, a lot of love to go out.
You know, and the reason why I want to bring this up, because, you know, a lot of, you know, people don't understand bullying can cause mental illness. You know, mental illness comes in various forms, especially, you know, and I want to tell you, I'm very happy that you are brave enough not to take yourself, you know, your own life and everything, because in this world, dude, no matter if you do right or you do wrong.
Fucked up.
That's it. What?
You fucked up on doing it. That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The good thing you fucked up, because you wouldn't
if
me.
If I can take it to that level, when I woke up out of my bed, it was scary, because I looked in the mirror and I couldn't move. Like, there was stiffness in my body. Like, I'll do this, and all like there was like tearing or cracking, and just seeing the way like my skin was super pale. I'm white right now. I mean, this kind of like screwed me up a bit. Yeah. And I had dark circles around my eyes. I had a doctor's appointment anyways, and I went in. And the last thing he told me is like, is there anything else I can do for you? I said, I need to go to the emergency room right now, because I did that. I had about like two bags of IV fluid like this into me, because I couldn't use the bathroom. My stomach was getting bigger and bigger, and then I had the only gut afterwards. And like they kept trying to keep me up. I couldn't sleep. Right. And it was just traumatizing, because while I was in there, a person that I knew from way back when I was a little kid, she was the most quietest girl in the classroom, never bothered anyone. And when they put me in the adult unit first, she was across from me, and she tapped me, and she's like, "Don't I know you?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You went to this school?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." It was heartbreaking to see someone so nice like that be in my shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
After being there for a week and being stuck in that dark room and stuff like that, and having to see what all other kids go through and that, I was like, you know what? This isn't the life I want. I don't want to be in a small square space where I can't even see the outside world. Once I got out, I literally went on my knees on the ground, and I was feeling the wind on my face finally, feeling the sunlight hit me. And I was like, you know what? I wasn't here to waste my time. Clearly, if there is a God, which I believe in it as well, I was kept here for a purpose. It took me a while to realize that, but I feel like pro wrestling is literally what saved my life at this rate.
Let me tell you something that a lot of people didn't know, and it might come to a shock to everybody here. As everybody knows my story about my sickness last year and the various
I'm very glad you're still here.
operations and everything, and I thank you for that. But what nobody knows is I won that title January 11th. January 16th is my birthday. January 16th, I was in the ICU for 4 days. And I'm letting everybody know, nobody knew about this. We kept it secret. And I kept saying to myself, I'm not going to make it this time. I'm not going to make it. With the grace of God and the support of friends and everything, I came through. And the owner of ACW, William Biggs, came to the hospital to visit me.
You're a fighter both inside and out there.
I tried to be, and he came out and gave me the championship belt. And he says, you're not going anywhere because you are where you're supposed to be. You're going to come back and everything's going to, and sure, I feel better and everything, but now I have to look at what my steps are to make sure this doesn't happen again. You are where you're supposed to be now. Okay? Your destiny is where you at right now because you overcame your fear when, like you said, you stepped out the hospital and wow, the breeze felt different. The sun felt different. That's where you're supposed to. You join wrestling because that's where you're supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has dreams. We all have dreams. To become this, to do that. If it doesn't happen, don't get upset about it. Don't get upset. Listen, I was supposed to be a cop. I was supposed to be a great soldier. I became a comedian because I was happy. I became a wrestler because it's something that I wanted to do for my dad. I have this show for over 14 years. And doing what I do is, and I've grown to realize, because I'm going to be 50 years old next year, and I keep saying to myself, I am where I am supposed to be.
Absolutely.
The hell what everybody else thinks about you and everything, because if Vince knows this, and you know this, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You can go out and yeah, we all make mistakes. Listen, I've tried to apologize to my kids and people that I think that I hurt and everything 1,000,000 times. Some accepted it, some didn't. And I can't go anymore. I can't apologize 1,000,000 times if you're not going to accept it. So you know what?
It's just life.
Stay blessed. I don't hate you. I wish you the best. And if you do well, I'll be the first one to stand up and clap my hands and say, hey, you know what? You did it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't please everybody.
Nope.
There's certain things that I've done in life that I regret, and there's certain things that I've done in life that I'm happy I made those decisions. And when it comes down to mental health, people don't seem to understand. Some people, like Latinos, will be like, he's doing it for a show.
Or attention.
He's doing it for attention.
I feel like that's the problem with society itself nowadays. That's something that not many people realize. It's just something that we are sometimes born with, or sometimes that we go through tragedy and trauma, and that's just something that we get later on. And something that most people don't understand, it's not like we asked for it, or we're like, hey, I want this and I want that problem. It's just stuff that we get, and it's nothing we can do about it. It's literally like your neighbor inside your head, but the rent is due every day, and it's just not going to go away no matter how many times.
And listen, and what the people don't realize, wrestling is a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood that I can't explain it. I've been into entertainment business for many years. When I got into wrestling, it's a different world, and I have proof of it. I got one right here. I
love Vinny.
Vinny knows. Vinny can tell you. When I was sick, Vinny was, what are you doing? What you need? I'm here. This and this and that. When we started doing turnbuckle talk. Remember, we used to do that.
Oh,
I
You know,
was,
it's been a
I was
while
there apparently
since that.
every week. You
Yeah,
know, I was in on it.
He was. Vince used to come on, and then I said, you know what? I don't want to do a show about wrestling. I want to do a show about the person who wrestles. That's a different way of looking at it. You know, because we all have characters. He has his character. I have mine. You have yours. You know, but at the end of the day, we still bleed. We still have to go to sleep. We still have to eat. We still sweat and everything
Got
else.
bills to pay and all that stuff.
You know what I'm saying? But people, with a brotherhood about wrestling, what I love about it is that no matter if we work with the guy or not, or we don't really, every time something goes wrong with one of us, we're there. We're the first ones online. When I got sick the first time, I didn't put nothing up on social media. It was my partner, Pablo Cardona, which he's watching right now. Pablo, I love you, kiddo. He went out there and he went out there and told the world, hey, my brother is dying. My brother's dying. I got calls from wrestlers in Puerto Rico that I hardly met. And they were like, whatever you need, bro. Vince calling me. Pablo, I mean, lots of people calling me and showing me love. But with mental illness, it's hard to distinguish because one of my most famous icon people in the world that I love so much killed himself, which was Robin Williams. I thought he was the happiest man on the planet.
But that's another thing. I felt like that was kind of my problem and why it took me so long to kind of speak about what I did and what happened. Because I felt like when I started wrestling, I would see little kids come up to me, or they're like, hey, I want to be like you, or hey, can you take a photo of my baby? I have photos of me holding kids, you know, just me smiling at them, because they genuinely make me happy. I love kids. I love kids so much. And I felt like when this Louis Lindo came out, you know, he's flamboyant, he's pretty, you know, he has nice gear and all that thing. I felt like my problem with that was that I only showed a version of myself that I wanted people to see, all, you know, the Lindo stuff, and not, you know, tragedy, heartbreak, all that stuff.
Well, that's the whole thing. Sometimes you have to show that.
But now is when
those are the bricks of your foundation.
Exactly.
Now
if you don't show the people, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
If you don't show the people the scars that you got to make it to where you're at, they're gonna think you never made it yet. You understand what I'm saying? Because somebody else's misery is somebody else's victory. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't want misery coming and knocking on your door. Listen, I got scars to prove it. I walk with God. I got the scars to prove it. You know, because of everything that I've done in my life. Yeah, I wish there were some things I could have done better. I wish there was some things I could have. I wish there was some things I didn't do. You know, but I am very happy and proud that you are here with us today because, you know, every time I see you, I give you the respectable kiss and everything, give you a hug and everything. I said, that's my brother. I do the same thing with Vinny. I do the same thing with Pablo. I do the same thing with people that I call family. Because family does not have to be blood.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to be blood. You know how many times I couldn't get a guest and this man stepped up for me? And he was like, yo, I'll come by. Let's talk about chickens and sex. and we would do that. And we would have fun on the show. We would have fun on the show. And this is the way we did it. Now, if anybody who's listening to the show right now, if you want to give us a call at 347-640-3920. That's 347-640-3920. We're going to take a short little mini commercial. When we come back, I'm going to have Louis Lindo with me. And, of course, Mr. Vince Steele. You know,
Don't forget the Jurassic Juggernaut.
The Jurassic Juggernaut. It's the R&R Show on the LDM Network. We'll be right back after this.
Lloré, sabe bien que yo estoy por ti. Cada día piensas en mí. Conectamos desde que te conocí. Dime, lloré, sabe bien que yo estoy por ti. Cada día piensas en mí. Conectamos desde que te conocí. Déjate llevar, baby. Vámonos en un viaje. Que quiero vacilar contigo más que amigo. Vacilar contigo más que amigo. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Entrégate. De amores. No quiere una relación, no quiere cometer la misma equivocación, pero ella sabe que conmigo es diferente. Andando por ahí, jangueando, ya no le demente. Por eso cómo suena el dembow. Me gusta cómo suena. Déjate llevar, baby. Vámonos en un viaje. Que quiero vacilar contigo más que amigos. Entrégate, baby. Vámonos en un viaje. Quiero vacilar contigo más que amigos. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Dale, entrégate, baby. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Entrégate, nena, y ven conmigo. Que esta noche yo me quedo contigo. Tú sabes muy bien lo que yo te quiero hacer. Dale duro hasta el amanecer. Relájate, date un trago y zumba los zapatos. Los zapatos. Nena, yo me encargo de resto me encargo yo. Déjate llevar, baby. Vámonos en un viaje. Que quiero vacilar contigo más que amigos. Entrégate, baby. Vámonos en un viaje. Quiero vacilar contigo más que amigos. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Dale, entrégate, baby. Dale, entrégate, bebé. Dale, entrégate, baby.
You are listening to Miguel y John Q right here on the R&R Show. Get ready. We'll be right back right after this song.
Mami, entrégate, que te quiero ver. Tú y yo juntos vamos a amanecer. Mami, entrégate, que te quiero ver. Tú y yo juntos vamos a amanecer.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the R&R Show. I'm Rafael G'ee with my co-host, Mr. Vince Steele, the Jurassic Juggernaut, and of course, Louis Lindo is in the building. If you missed the first half of the show, don't worry about it. The replay will be up later on tonight on the LDM Network page.
Yes.
Is there some people you want to give a shout out to?
First off, I want to give a shout out to William Biggs, the promoter of ACW. I love William so much for the opportunity that he has given me and has really given me, a platform there so I can be my full self at ACW, and one of the people that have really been looking out for me, trying to build me and help me. I also want to give a shout out to Esteban de Jesus. He actually commented, met him that one time and felt like a real humble guy. I appreciate that. That's just how I like to be.
And I want to give a shout out to everybody who's been watching.
True.
Ralph Amore, Furman Acosta, Pablo Cordona, Laz Vic, Esteban de Jesus, John Rage, Louis Bischoff,
Mike
Bobby
Morgan.
Munoz, my boy Ralph Filion, Mike Morgan, Cece Perez, and Steven Arroyo, and Mr. Mike Licata. Thank you so much for logging on. Thank you all for logging on. But before we get going with the show, there's somebody I have to give praise to who's been part of my life, my whole life, actually. She is also part of the gay community, and we're very proud of her. She is my cousin from blood, my uncle's daughter, Cookie Elba Melendez. Everybody knows her as Grandmaster Cookie Elba Melendez. She has been doing this for over 40 years, since the 70s, and it was harder then than it is now to be openly gay and do what you do best. She is a Grandmaster in the martial arts, and she has a program called Beautiful, Armed, and Dangerous, and she helps young women and ladies with self-defense courses, self-confidence and everything. She also helps people to get in shape and stuff like. Charles, if you have the picture up of her, by any chance? Well, you want to put it up, sir? Oh, it's a delay. Thank you. I'm sorry. We're watching the delay. I have to say, Cookie, thank you so much for everything you have done in the martial arts world, what you've done in the community to help these young ladies build their confidence and self-defense and everything. Because we all know domestic abuse comes from all types of fields. It can come from the straight, gay, whatever. It comes from there. So, that also can cause a mental issue for some people because they don't have the confidence to fight back, or they don't have the confidence to speak out of what they're going through. And my cousin Cookie, who I love dearly, is the international movement. It's called BAD, Beautiful, Armed, and Dangerous. And for you, Grandmaster Cookie Melendez, thank you so much for everything you've done for the community. I love you to death. She is a great supporter of wrestling. She's been to a couple of my shows. She was there at my first one. And every time I put pictures up and everything, or stuff with the gear or the belt, she's like 100%, hey, this is my cousin. You know, there she is wearing my shirt. I love you, Ma. And she's been doing so great for the community. And I am happy and honored to be her cousin and have the same bloodline that we have. We have the same grandmother. Her father was my mother's brother. And for her to be doing this since the 70s, since before I was born, and look how great she looks. And I feel sorry for whoever tries.
Boards don't hit back.
That's right. Boards don't hit back. Cookie, I love you, mommy. And you know, I'm gonna try to get some of the guys together and go to one of your events so we could you know, inter socialize with everybody.
Yeah, never on the show. Don't ask me to come and get my ass.
Oh no, you're lucky she wasn't there when we had our street fight, because she would have told me that's not the way you handle a kendo stick. This is the way you do it.
Hey, lucky I wasn't in that street
Man,
fight.
I still get headaches. I don't know how to handle a kendo stick.
Oh my goodness! Like I said, you know, she's also part of the gay community and everything, and I'm so proud of her, of everything she's committed, and she's such a loving person. Helps out so many people. You know, that's why when having you here, it's like having my own family doing what they do. You got to keep going and do what you do. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. I was not supposed to be in wrestling. They told me, oh, you're only going to have one match and that's it. And that's when I first met Vince in my first match. And the first thing I said to Vince, because I saw him putting on his tights and everything, and I'm looking at him and I'm saying, he makes big guys look good. I'm being serious. You got to get your match with Psycho Clown. Yes, I know. And I didn't even see him wrestle yet until I saw him get in the ring with Psycho Clown. And I saw him get in the ring with Psycho Clown. Like, Charles, you were there. We were like, man, this big dude could move. And we were in the back. We took pictures. Ever since then, we've been great friends. He's been on my show many times. We've worked together at different companies. We had matches. I mean, I learned a lot from him, and he knows that. And I got to give you praise where praise is due. I'm not the type of person that kisses ass to kiss ass. I say it like it is. That's why a lot of people love my show. A lot of people hate my show because I'm raw and ready. I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot from Lou Nova. And they're not people who own their own companies. They took me under their wing and said, okay, this is what you could do. This is what you can't do. We're going to have fun. And because of these two guys, and I'm being sincere, I props to BWF. I trained in their gym and everything. I give them props. But these guys showed me what the inside tricks were. He goes like, you're going to learn what they're going to teach you. You're going to learn the drills. But this is how you do it when you get in the ring. And I'm very appreciative to have you guys in my life and everything because we have so much going on.
Because we made his career a lot lengthier.
So we're doing what we can. Of course, I think you got something coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
You want to say what it is? Since you've been talking all the show.
BCW's 4th year anniversary in Richfield Park, New Jersey, March 27th. And I'm going to get my hands finally on this guy who calls himself the top guy.
Who's that?
TJ McCorney.
Oh.
McCorney?
I'm sure of him. I don't like you no more. We're not friends. So when we get in there, ain't no working shit out. I'm going to whoop your ass.
Oh, my God.
Joe Gacy, you're just going to be another person that's going to be in my way. And I'm going to become king of the monsters.
Oh.
March 27th.
You know.
And then the week after that, I'm going to West Virginia with Lindo. And a bunch of other guys from New York. I'm going to take over West Virginia.
Jesus
This is the plans for 2020. Make your money and spend it how you want it.
Oh, my God. You know what I'm thinking of? Watching these guys in the ring is like watching Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
The only
He got the Godzilla show.
I'm the only monster in there.
Way more Power Rangers when you get the
TJ McConaughey is SpongeBob with a trench coat.
Oh, God.
Where is Marconi? Is he in it?
I don't know if he's watching.
I feel like you're going to have to wait until you see him in person.
I've had these guys on my show.
Yeah, we was cool at that point, but we ain't cool no more.
It was, oh my God.
He got jealous because I was proving my wealth, calling myself the best big man. And ended up getting the shirt before him. That's what it was.
I got that shirt.
Yeah, I got one too.
He wants to be Vince still.
Oh, wow.
A lot of y'all big dudes want to be Vince still. I respect that.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. This is going to be... When is this?
March 27th.
BCW.
BCW's 4th year anniversary.
Oh, wow. This is going to be... I got to go to that one. I got to go see this.
Richfield Park, New Jersey.
Oh, my God.
I'll send the address and Ralph will put it up next week.
Is it next to Columbus?
Next to Columbus.
106 Bergen Avenue, Richfield Park, New Jersey.
This kid knows.
Yeah, he's been in that building a few times.
Yeah, that's why I puts it back to the table.
Shout out to Violence and Suffering. Later on that weekend, on that Sunday the 29th, they gonna be there. I might pull up. Oh, what else we got? Oh yeah, Ace Pro Wrestling, April 18th. I forgot where it is. Mike, I'm sorry. if you comment the address on there, let them know.
Oh, shout out to Mike Morgan.
Shout out to Ace Pro Wrestling.
Ace Pro
Making that
Wrestling.
comeback,
I love that. Yeah, they're going to come back hard. Listen, I also got to say, Mike Morgan, thank you so much for the opportunity you gave me last year, working with all the guys at Ace, working with Vince. Great program, great show. He's been him and William Biggs, one of the realest promoters in this business that tell you like it is.
Seriously.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike for Ace. Shout out to Will at ACW. You guys are the best, and they're going to be the hottest shows coming up this year.
Whatever Lindo's in.
Yeah, whatever Lindo's in.
I have New Age Wrestling, I believe, next week, Saturday. I have April 4th with the best big man in the business, Vince Steele, in West Virginia, because we're taking over. Yeah. And after that, I'm competing for the Adrenaline Rush Cup at LTW Live.
And if people want to follow you, where could they follow you at?
They can follow me at L_Louis_Lindo on both Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to like the
Not
Facebook
the letter
page.
L, E-L.
L. Where they can find you?
You can follow me. I'm only using Facebook and Instagram because those are the only things popping in my life right now.
You gotta get on that
Facebook.com/Vince Steele. Twitter's whack. Nobody follows me. And my Instagram is still Vince. Look me up, man. I got videos up. I need views. Y'all watching this beautiful show? I need my views up, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
Coming soon, the vlogs. The vlogs is coming. I'm actually going to debut the April 4th trip.
All right.
I'm going to be filming the whole thing.
Featuring me. Let's just make that clear.
Shout out to Caveman. Shout out to Anastasia.
Oh, you know what? I want
Johnny Santos.
Yes.
Gito. We all rolling up April 4th. West Virginia.
And I have to say something about Caveman. Everybody knows the story. There's no need to go into it. But as Caveman, I got to tell you this, my brother. From day one, when everything went down, I grabbed you and I said, no matter what, I'm on your side. Okay? The truth will come out. The truth came out, and everybody who turned their back on him are now saying, oh, shit, hey, buddy. Caveman, whenever, he's been on my show several times too, whenever you want to come down on the show, pal, we can talk crap, we can talk bullshit, or you can show me how to do those paintings with the rocks that you do in the caves and everything. We could do that here in the studio, and of course, Anastasia, you're more than welcome to come also. I am so happy.
Speaking of them,
Shit, Caveman.
I put Caveman back on the market. I'm going to let y'all know that. I'm the only one that I got trust in this kid. Because he's good at what he does.
Tell you, out of all the wrestlers, Juggernaut and Caveman are my two closest friends that I even continue talking to.
Yeah.
From the day one that we met. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Because in this business, there's some guys who, they move on to other things and they're busy or whatever. But there's some people that you turned your back to somebody who you didn't know the full story yet. And once the full story came out and the innocence was shown, innocence declared innocent, in a corner wall.
People still talk shit. Yeah, still talk shit. And you know what? To all those people who've been hating on Caveman, I got something for you. A big fuck you.
Exactly.
All right?
And they know who they are. They know who they are. All right? They know who they are. And also, for those who believe in bullying because of your sexual preference, who believe in bullying because of their race or because of their religion or because they dress different from you and everything. Why don't you try bullying us three? We got a lot. We'll take it.
That ain't gonna work
But
anymore.
the problem is, can you take it? How you become a better person? By overcoming your fears, realizing who you are and becoming that person you want to be without the consent of anybody.
And loving yourself.
Exactly.
That's number one.
You know, and
Can you dig it?
you know, and you can't get any better than that. You can't. You know, and the LDM Network, they know, they've worked with communities. They have the what's that program? Guns Down.
That's not our program.
I know, but you guys have helped them in the past.
Yeah. Guns Down, Life Up.
Guns Down, Life Up. Little Lexi doing her anti-bullying. Charles,
We combined with over 6 community centers out there.
That help people with various types of things. And, you know, that's what you got to do. You got to go out there and reach. Wrestling is our getaway. It's our world where we can become who we want to become. You know, and we do it because we love it. None of us are rich in this business. But we go and we do those.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Okay, you're getting there.
It's still a superstar
But
right now with that booking rate.
at the end of the day, we're still fans. We're still fans of the game. We also could sit down and have a conversation. Hey, did you watch WWF last week? Did you watch the documentary? Did you watch AEW? Because we're still fans.
Did you watch Vince Steele?
Did you watch Vince Steele jump off the top rope and crush that Puerto Rican Punisher guy?
I hope I never
But I felt
take that
it.
move.
But did you see when that Puerto Rican Punisher guy hit Vince Steele with the stick? Oh, that was even better.
That was a good moment.
You know, but this is our world, and we make the best of it. And it has to be like that outside the ring. It's our world. We have to make the best of it. We all got responsibilities. We all got children, except for you. We all got children and everything. But we still have to get up in the morning and live another chapter of our life. We're on borrowed time. Sooner or later, somebody's going to cash us in. But when we cash in, I hope that I made an impact on some people that they say, you know what, he did this, he inspired me. The same thing with you. You know, Louis went through this, and look what he is before he left. Same thing with Vince. You know, a lot of people don't, give us credit for what we do for the fans. You know, and as part of the R&R show, everybody thinks like it's Raw and Ready. They're gonna be doing this. They're gonna be doing that. People underestimate that I can have a show like this, and then next week have a show with crazy porn stars.
Vince was running around butt-ass niggas.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Vince is, he did do a body double for Jabba the Hutt in Star. Sorry, I didn't mean to tell you the secret.
Oh,
That was a spoof to porn.
That was the porn.
Money Talks, both of Walker
Actually,
said.
the name of the movie was Star Balls.
And he was a star.
Okay, Star Wars. And it was revenge of the anal attackers. All right. I'm just saying, Vince is my boy. Louis Lindo is my boy, and I can't say, how proud I am of both of you guys, your accomplishments, and everything. When I see Vince putting up videos of him doing something off the top rope or something, what's the first thing I do? I hit you up and I say, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
You good? Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, it looked worse on tape or whatever." I said, "Okay." I see stuff on you, and I tell you, don't ever let nobody tell you what you can't do. Don't ever let anybody say you can't do what you want, because if that's the case, none of us would be where we are at today. Baby. We know we can do better. Yeah. We know we can do better, and I know that you will do better. I know he will do better, and we're gonna have fun doing it. If you don't have fun with what you're doing now, don't do it.
Shouldn't be doing it.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's times where you and I have been to shows and we're like, are you gonna do this or whatever? And you see the crowd waiting for something to happen. We're like, you know what? Let's just have fun. There's times where I work with other wrestlers. Be like, okay, we're doing everything step by step. The first thing this man tells me, let it ride. Stop thinking about it. Just follow me.
I feel like when you think about it, that's what makes it more complicated.
Exactly. And I'm like, I never looked at it that way. Nobody's ever taught me that.
And it's more natural.
Yeah, he was just let it ride.
Doesn't look choreographed.
Yeah, and then we come out in the back and he's like, are you hurt? No. You feel good? Yes. You see? Let it ride. Just let it ride. And that's why I say with life, let it ride. Enjoy it. Okay? From everybody who's been logged on to the show, I can't thank you enough. Thank you all so much. Again, a big salute to my cousin, Grandmaster Elba Cookie Melendez, for everything she does, for bad which means beautiful, armed, and dangerous, is an international movement.
I never asked her if she got milk. She'll kick you right in the face.
Oh, believe me, I've heard stories when I was a kid when when we lived in the Lower East Side, when people would disrespect her. She, shit like that. And again, I want to thank you, Louis, for being courageous to come out and tell your story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Don't let nobody else tell you what to do. You do what you choose and what to be in life. It doesn't matter. Against Vince, my little big brother, thank you so much. I wish you guys the best in your upcoming events. And like I always tell everybody, be careful, and be safe. All right?
Exactly.
All right. This is the R&R Show. My name is Rafael G'ee. We'll be back next week, live here, 7 p.m. on the LDM Network. God bless. Good night. Adios. Okay, Charles, shut it off. I want to go home. I got Chinese food in the trunk.
Silence!